This is the moment that shocked every DC fan. Superman is bleeding, but who or what could possibly hurt the Man of Steel? The answer will change everything you know about this new movie. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly who's behind this, and why they're more dangerous than any villain before. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The mystery villain, Ultraman. Meet the enigma everyone's calling Ultraman, a hulking black-suited brute with that glowing U emblem that's got fans buzzing. At first glance, he seems like the perfect nod to the comics Ultraman, Superman's evil doppelganger from the crime syndicate's Earth 3, where heroes are villains and morality's flipped. But here's the twist, this isn't that Ultraman. Why? First, the DCEU is still building its core universe. James Gunn's barely scratched the surface with Superman, Legacy, and throwing in multiverse shenanigans this early would be like introducing Thanos in Iron Man 1. The general audience isn't ready for alternate realities yet, and DC's still healing from the Flash's box office bruises. Second, trailer clues show this Ultraman isn't acting alone. He's taking orders, possibly from Lex Luthor or even Brainiac. Note the shadowy figures in control rooms. Comic Ultraman is a narcissistic tyrant who bows to no one. He'd sooner incinerate a minion than follow commands. Plus, that U could easily stand for something else. Cough Project Cadmus Cough. So while the name's a fun red herring, this villain's got a far more grounded and terrifying origin, and it's lurking closer to home than you think. Captain Atom, government superweapon. Here's a mind-blowing twist. What if the force that made Superman bleed isn't a villain at all, but a hero pushed too far? Enter Captain Atom, the walking nuclear reactor whose containment suit, hello trailer visuals, literally keeps his universe-ending power in check. Comic fans know this guy can punch way above his weight class. He's gone toe-to-toe with Superman before and left him staggering. That sleek, high-tech suit in the trailer, dead ringer for Captain Atom's military-grade armor, designed to harness or suppress his unstable quantum energy. But here's the kicker, Captain Atom's no rogue agent. He's a loyal soldier, taking orders from shadowy government handlers. So if he's the one drawing Superman's blood, ask yourself, who's holding his leash? Q Maxwell Lord's trademark smirk, the billionaire puppet master who specializes in weaponizing heroes. Remember Justice League Unlimited? Or worse. What if this is Amanda Waller's contingency plan in action? The suit's design, the tactical strikes, the way Superman reacts like he's fighting a ghost from his own side, it all points to a horrifying truth. The DCU's first government-sanctioned Superman takedown, and that's a threat no amount of heat vision can vaporize. Doomsday, too obvious? Okay, hear me out. There's an eerie parallel between Doomsday's comic origins and our mystery villain that's too glaring to ignore. In the iconic Death of Superman storyline, Doomsday was discovered buried deep underground, encased in a bizarre containment suit that suspiciously resembles the high-tech armor worn by our trailer villain. The visual similarities are uncanny. The bulky silhouette, the armored plating, even the way light reflects off the metallic surfaces. But here's where the theory falls apart. Doomsday is literally genetically programmed to be an unstoppable force of nature, a mindless engine of destruction that can't be reasoned with, bargained with, or controlled by anyone, not even Lex Luthor at his most manipulative. The trailer clearly shows our villain taking orders and moving with tactical precision, something completely antithetical to Doomsday's character. More importantly, Doomsday's entire purpose in DC lore is to kill Superman. It's why he was created, both in-universe and by the comics writers. For James Gunn to introduce that narrative nuclear option in Superman's very first DCU outing would be like using a sledgehammer to crack an egg. It would leave them nowhere to go for future stories. While the visual homage might be intentional to throw comic fans off the scent, the actual narrative logistics make Doomsday's appearance at this stage about as likely as Batman cracking jokes at a funeral. Bizarro, the perfect fit? Now this is the frontrunner, Bizarro, Superman's twisted clone, and here's why all evidence points to this imperfect duplicate. Let's connect the dots. First, Lex Luthor's obsession with cloning is legendary in DC lore, from Cadmus Labs creating Superboy to his numerous attempts to replicate Superman's power. That containment suit in the trailer, classic Luthor tech, perfect for controlling an unstable prototype. Second, Bizarro's trademark dim-witted obedience makes him the ideal puppet, strong enough to challenge Superman, but pliable enough to follow orders, at least until his fractured mind inevitably snaps, explaining that chilling roar we hear in the trailer. And that mysterious U emblem, while fans jump to Ultraman, it could just as easily stand for Ugly Superman, a cruel joke by Luthor mocking his failed creation. The visual storytelling aligns perfectly too. Bizarro's traditional mismatched patchwork appearance could easily be modernized into that sleek but slightly off armored suit. Most telling? This approach gives Gunn everything he needs: a physical threat to Superman, psychological horror elements, a corrupted mirror image, and a perfect vehicle for Luthor's ego, all while saving bigger villains like Brainiac or Darkseid for future chapters. The pieces fit almost too perfectly. Solaris, the Sun God. Okay, what is this thing? Meet Solaris, the DC Universe's most terrifying star, a sentient, murderous sun from the 853rd century with a god complex and a thirst for destruction. Yes, really, this isn't just some random energy being. In the comics, Solaris was created as the ultimate super weapon that even the Legion of Superheroes struggled to contain. Now let's connect the cosmic dots. Those devastating golden beams tearing through Metropolis in the trailer. Classic Solaris attack patterns. The way buildings seem to crumple under unnatural forces. Textbook solar gravity manipulation. And here's the genius part. This could be Lex Luthor's ultimate power play. We know Lex has always been obsessed with harnessing the sun's energy. Remember his kryptonite solar bomb in Superman Returns. What if he's discovered a way to weaponize Solaris's embryonic form, creating an artificial sun that answers to him? This theory gets even juicier when you consider long-term storytelling. Solaris could start as a contained weapon in this film, only to evolve into the DCU's next Thanos-level threat, a self-aware stellar entity that returns in future phases with full control over solar systems. The trailer's glowing eye might just be Solaris' first unstable manifestation, hinting at horrors to come. After all, what better way to establish stakes than showing Superman struggling against a villain that could eventually consume entire worlds? Final theory, the mastermind. Here's the brilliant twist. Bizarro is merely Lex Luthor's blunt instrument, the terrifying distraction hiding the real master stroke. While Superman battles his monstrous clone, Lex lurks in the shadows, pulling multiple strings like a sinister conductor. That containment suit, Luthor tech, Solaris' sudden appearance, Luthor experiment, even Captain Atom's involvement reeks of LexCorp manipulation. This is classic Luthor, using others as weapons while keeping his hands clean. By orchestrating chaos from behind the scenes, Lex demonstrates his most dangerous power, not strength, but ruthless strategy. He doesn't need to land the punch himself when he can engineer the perfect conditions for Superman to bleed, both physically and morally. So guys, DC detectives, time to weigh in. Did we crack the case, or are we totally off base? Drop your wildest villain theories in the comments. Is it really Bizarro, or are you Team Brainiac? Maybe you've spotted a clue we missed. Smash that like button if you predicted the Bizarro twist from day one, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. We've got way more DCU mysteries to unravel. Your theories fuel these deep dives, so let's hear them. Who really made Superman bleed?